All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to talk about Errol Spence Jr. checking Terence Crawford fans over a statement about their fight and letting them know what the problem is, and he is dead on that one. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to be in the 147-pound division where Errol Spence Jr. Is confronted by some Terence Crawford fans after he leaves a tweet. And he responds in a way that is comedic, but yet is dead-centered true about what a major problem is with Terence Crawford's fan base, and also a lot of people in boxing that are always talking about let's make the big fights. Before I get into that, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when you release more videos. Also, thank you to everybody that is a longtime subscriber and supporter. Thank you for your support in the super chats and in the cash apps of the live streams. And also, especially thank you to everybody that supports in the super thanks in this video, which you can see with the heart sign right down in the lower right-hand corner. But let's get into this, man. Errol Spence Jr. hits a problem on the head. Dead on the head, but in a joke. Errol Spence Jr. is a funny guy, man. I mean, like, I don't always agree with everything he says. I agree with a lot of what he says because two characteristics that he has, he's very straightforward, he's very consistent, and also it's kind of funny. So earlier today, he, in a series of tweets, he, number one, said that he is going to be riding with Anthony Yarde in a fight that is coming up. I do believe it's coming up this weekend with Anthony Yarde and Arthur Beterbiev for Arthur Beterbiev's 175-pound championships or titles, rather. I think he has everything but the WBA. So he has the WBC, the IBF, and the WBO. And he's going to be fighting against Anthony Yarde, who, and I do believe this is Anthony Yarde's second attempt at winning a belt at 175. The first one did not go so well against Sergey Kovalev. But in a tweet today, Errol Spence Jr. says, "I'm riding with Yarde." So somebody responded to Errol Spence, and with the response, "I'm riding with Terence Crawford." And then Errol responded to him and said, we're good as long as you're not using a Firestick." which is basically saying, look, man, yeah, we're good as long as you actually paying for the fight. Root for the dude, but actually pay for the fight. And this is where I'm saying, man, that it's like some comedy is just really, really right to the point of greater issues. And, you know, we've been talking about pay-per-views for numbers for Terence Crawford versus Abanishan. We've been talking about pay-per-view numbers for Gervonta Tank Davis. But and people out there saying, well, you know, the day of the pay-per-view is over because everybody can steal fights, right? Here's the thing, though. I had a disagreement. Well, I didn't have a disagreement, excuse me. I didn't have a disagreement at all. I had an interaction with Leonard Ellerby of Mayweather Promotions, right? Over a subject matter that I got wrong. And as a result of it, he said something very nice to me, which is like, hey man, if you ever need anything, let me know. So somebody immediately responded and said, ask him for tickets. And my immediate response to that was, I pay my own way. And that's the way that I always feel the best. I feel better about myself if I am paying my own way. If I want to go somewhere and I have, you know, and there's a dinner, you know, ever since I've become a grown man that earns my own money, there's a certain amount of pride and a certain amount of comfort you get from being able to buy your own meal, to pay for things that you get, right? So what we're missing right now in boxing is people that have a sense of pride in paying their own way. So you can talk all day about how you are a fan of Terence Crawford or you're a fan of Errol Spence Jr. and all this and all of that. But if you're not actually willing to pay for the fight, actually willing to come out of your pocket for the fight, then you are what you call a freeloader. And I'm telling you, I know some of y'all freeloaders I like a lot. We'll tell you in a minute, look, man, I'm using a Firestick. I'm looking up a stream. This fight ain't worth it, but I'm going to still watch the fight, right? However, there's another saying in the world that goes along this line: beggars cannot be choosers. And if you really say that you want to see the big fights and you want to have the big fights made, how about, and I know there's not a lot of people that are going to listen to me on this, how about you become part of the solution and not part of the problem, and stop stealing the fights? And if you cannot pay for the fight, get together with somebody and say, hey, man, y'all want to watch it at the house? It's a $70 fight, or in the case of Terence Crawford, a $40 fight. Hey, how about I put 10 on it? You put 10 on it. You put 10 on it. We get together, we hang out, we have a little fight party, and we can all enjoy the fight. We don't have to worry about the feed going out. And also, we also know that we are really actually giving the fighters something in return for what they give us. Because other than paying a little bit of your light bill, when you steal a fight, you're not giving anything back to the fighters, right? So it's kind of hard to turn around and complain about the fights you're not getting when the fights that they do give you, you're not paying for. And that little bit of statement in that tweet, man, just really was like, man, I'm in 100% agreement with it. Like, yeah, you rocking with Terence Crawford. Yeah. Well, as long as you pay for Terence Crawford's fights. Terence Crawford has been on pay-per-view 4 times. He was on a pay-per-view with Victor Postal on ESPN, Amir Khan on ESPN, Sean Porter on ESPN, and David Avenetian. Yeah, I'm trying my best to forget that name as far as it relates to Terence Crawford. David Avenetian over on BLK Prime, and many of the people that claim that they are, that Errol Spence Jr. what Errol Spence Jr. needs to do with Terence Crawford and what he deserves as far as a split and all of that are not buying that man's fights. And you can say, yeah, everybody's stealing it, like I said. But however, of the people that actually buy the pay-per-views, 350,000 are buying the pay-per-views for Errol, and you got a significantly lower amount buying it for Terence Crawford. So if you had to say who is more guilty for not really creating an environment where super fights not only happen, but people all feel like there's enough money in the pot at the end of the day where they cannot afford not to take that fight, right? You have a guy like Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather Jr. that at a certain point in their career, they're like, look, man, we're not going to leave this money on the table. Right. And like, for example, you had Muhammad Ali and George Foreman who went to Zaire to fight each other because there was so much money offered for that fight now, because Zaire was willing to pay their own way, that they could not fight each other. Like $5 million for me, $5 million for George. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going, how in the world am I going to pass up that type of money? If you are putting people in a position where they really can do 2 or 3 small, low risk fights and still make the same amount of money that they would in your quote unquote mega fight, dog, those things are not gonna happen. So anyway, I just thought that was funny. And it's just a microcosm of the situation, but I'm sure people are gonna find a way to say, hey man, money doesn't matter, titles matter. No, the titles matter to us if we care about titles and may care about the fighters, but to everybody involved, that money matters, and that money situation is very real. So anyway, very funny statement from Errol Spence Jr. Thought I would comment on that because I think that is a statement about something that's a greater issue going on in boxing. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.